Okay. Hello everyone. Sorry about the delay. They're having some issues with the broadcast. As usual, things always happen. Okay. So can I check with you guys whether you guys can hear me or can see me? Can anyone say yes? I can hear you. I can see you. Quite soft your volume. Okay, thank you. I'll increase my volume. It's the max I can go, I think. Maybe I can speak a bit louder. Okay, good. So you guys can see me, can hear me. Maybe I can speak a bit louder. Welcome to the live chat or the live webinar. Since we are, since the last few days, we've been doing this because since everybody's staying at home, we might as well, start something and share something with you guys. Yeah. So today the topic is about Adobe After Effects. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who are using After Effects. I've been constantly looking on the left hand side because I'm monitoring the chats as well. And I believe I have my colleague, Mr. Hakim, moderating the chat. So he's going to answer some of your questions loud and clear. Very good. Okay, cool. So today we'll talk about part of our training that we do in EFXCO. We do a lot of Adobe trainings, and part of it is After Effects. So I took one part out from the After Effects training, which is about the timeline. So a lot of people they are not really sure of how the timeline works and how to make it faster, especially when you have a slightly older computer or a laptop, which sometimes goes a bit sluggish. So there's some keyboard shortcuts and some stuff that you can do to make the process faster, especially the timeline, yeah, because that's where all the layers are. So if everybody's all okay, let's jump into After Effects and see what we can learn today. Okay, let me just make sure that everybody is on. Azura, welcome. Ken Checkers, Madli, hi guy, Madli, long time no see. Arun is here. Mohammed Fakri, okay, we got some people here as well, yeah. All right, cool. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for joining us. And let me just open up After Effects really quickly because I've already prepared everything, but since it wasn't working, I had to do a reset just now. So I'm just opening up After Effects right now. Feel free to put in questions. If you want to ask some questions about After Effects, we'll try and see whether I can answer them for you tonight. Yeah. File. I'm going to open up my file here. Okay. Okay, I'm going to switch on to my PIP. So I'm sure you guys can see my screen. Yeah. Let me just change this to. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so everybody can see the screen. Yeah. Hakim is there. Okay, good, Hakim, that you are. Alihan Studio is well here as well. Okay, so this is something that I put together to show you guys how you can maximize or being productive in using the timeline. Yeah, timeline is a crucial thing in After Effects, and there's a lot of things. A lot of people, they are not sure of how to work with the timeline. So I've put something together for you guys to be familiar with the timeline. Okay. Okay, sorry, I'm just opening up my notes here, make sure that I cover everything. Cakap Melayu boleh ke? Tak faham sangat bahasa orang putih. Boleh cakap Melayu pun boleh. Tapi saya campur-campur lah. Cakap Melayu boleh, cakap bahasa orang putih pun boleh. So, tapi dalam After Effects ni banyak terms orang putih. So, saya akan cubalah translate mana yang boleh. Okay. Okay, kita akan mulakan dengan something simple. By the way, berapa orang sini yang very I mean has been using After Effects for quite a while. If you can tell me who you are or how long you've been using After Effects, will be good as well, because I don't want to cover too much of a basic stuff. Just make sure that I cover, that you guys are here and you get something out of it. Yeah. Okay, so I have here a composition that I made. Okay, it's basically just a few layers. About this video of just putting some video together. Okay, sometimes I use After Effects to create some videos as well. Sometimes I use Premiere Pro, but mostly I use After Effects to edit videos. I'm very familiar with After Effects, and sometimes After Effects works for me faster than anything else. Okay, as you can see that we have a few layers here. You've got a vignette layer and some video layers as well. And I've got a pre-com here as well, which is made out of all these videos here as well. Yeah. So we're going to jump through all this stuff and show you what's happening. Okay, so I'm sure a lot of people here are familiar with sliding the CTI, or the current time indicator. But from my experience, if I used After Effects for a while, especially when you have an older computer and it becomes sluggish, it's very hard for you to jump from one area to another area. I'm sure most of you have experienced that before. And I used to have that problem as well. And sometimes, After Effects will have 50, 60, sometimes 100 of lines or 100 of layers, yeah, and it gets a bit sluggish. And what we need to do, we need to understand how we can jump from one frame to another frame. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about is well, something basic, something simple. How do we zoom in and zoom out kind of stuff? Okay, a lot of people, they know that you use the bottom part here. Okay, and sometimes my students, they get confused about these brackets up here, the zooming brackets. Yeah, so you can zoom in using this, right, manually, or there are some keyboard shortcut as well that you can use to zoom in and zoom out. I don't want to cover that because I think that's too basic. The one that I really want to show you is talking about the going to a specific time. If you work in if you're doing video editing, you probably use timecode. But if you're doing visual effects stuff, then you probably use frames, because if you're working with visual effects, we go by frames. So on the left hand side of the screen, you can see that we have a time code, and my time code is a bit funny because it starts at 651, although it's frame 1 here. Okay, it's 651. So it's actually showing me a time code. It's 5120, right? So this is the time code of this video. So when they were shooting this video, they probably obviously coming from the camera, and they probably shoot a few times so that we get a crazy code as well. So we can actually remedy this. Sometimes when you see that you have time code that you're playing with, and you have some issues like this, what I normally do is, if I open up the videos itself, okay, I should open this up. You can see here, okay, like I do a right click on the video, and I can say interpret footage, and then you can change the time code from here, right? There you go, this one here. Okay, it's currently 9:23, but it doesn't bother me because I'm okay with that, because I normally work in frames anyway. So what I'll normally do is I press the command or control key on Windows. You click on it, so now it becomes frames. Yeah, so I'm working with frames, so I know how many frames to go forward and backward kind of thing and all that. Okay, I'm okay with that. So the first thing I'm going to share with you is about jumping to time. Yeah, how do you jump from one area to another area? Obviously you can drag. Yeah, that's the easiest way. But when your machine is slow, you have problem jumping. So let's say you want to go to a specific time. Okay, a couple of ways. One thing is you come into the time code area here, you click on it. Okay, you can jump to a certain time. Let's say I want to jump to maybe 59,200. So I put that 59,200. Okay, and I press enter my keyboard. Oh, it's probably gone somewhere else. So I put 59 2000, sorry, 2000. Okay, Where's my 59200? Okay, let's do something here. So 5928, 5930, something like that. Yeah. So click on it. That's 59300. Okay, and it jumps to that area. Why is it jumping here? 59300 is supposed to be okay. 5933040. So let's try that. So 593040. All right, so it jumps to that specific time. So the first tip is to click on this guy here and timing, put your timing in. What if you want to jump, maybe you want to add about maybe 20 frames ahead of this. Okay, so the trick here is to click on that. Let me zoom in here. You can see the click on that area here, and you put a plus. Okay, and then put a 20. That will add 20 frames to that frame. Okay, so if I press enter, it jumps 20 frame. Yeah, do that again. Plus 20. Did it jump? For some reason it's not jumping. Or because it's a pre-comp. Never mind. Okay, I'll tell you what, let me just go into the pre-comp and do this. Okay. So if I'm on this layer here and I want to add, let's say 10 frames. No, it's not allowing me to do that. Tell you what, let me make a new composition. New composition, let's call it frame. And I'm going to bring the video in. Okay. I'm going to change the transformation to fit comp. All right. So I'm going to succeed again, interpret the footage, main, and make it to 0. This one here. Okay. So now we can start at frame 1 and all that stuff. Okay. So let's talk about that now. Yeah. So I have this video, and I want to change I'm going to add. Let's go forward a bit, maybe 5 seconds, and I want to add another 10 seconds to it. Yeah, so you can press where did my After Effects go? It crashed, but no worries. Now we can bring that back. Bring that back. You can come out of it. Okay, you can interpret the footage. Main, let's set to 0. There you go, right? So let's say we are here and we want to jump a few frames ahead. Delete that. Let's do that again. It's all zeroed. Let me just new composition starts at 0. Okay. Okay, this is fine now. All right, so let's do a transform. Sorry guys, I'm going very fast here. I'm just trying to remedy some stuff. Okay, we are back now. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't crash anymore. Let's do a save just in case it does. Okay, so if you see the now, oh, what's going on? Okay. All right. So if you want to add time, just go to there and say that you want to add 100 frames. So you plus 100. So it jumps to 100 frames. Yeah, does it jump? Something is not right. Plus 20 frames. Okay, it's not. Let's try some other thing. Let's try a keyboard shortcut. Shift command or Shift Option J, yeah, or Shift Alt J on Windows will make this keyboard shortcut. Shift Option J. Nothing seems to work anymore. I think this one has crashed again. Shift Option J. Nah, it's not coming up. Tell you what, let me just close again. And let's open up my other comp. Okay. Let's try with this, yeah. So let's see. Shift Option J. There you go. It pops up, yeah. So you can use the keyboard shortcut to also bring timing up. So you can jump to the timing. I'm not going to jump here timing because I know it's not going to work, but it's how you do it. You can either click on this timing here. You can add. You can do a plus behind that, yeah. If I were to zoom in, you can see I can do a plus. Yep. And you can put the number. Let's say you want to jump 20 frames ahead. You try and do that, yeah. And then you'll jump to 20 frames ahead. And if you want a keyboard shortcut, would be Shift Option J, and you can put a timing here. But what if you want to reverse? Yeah, in reverse you cannot put in a plus or minus. You can't do that. You have to put a plus and a minus. Yeah, and the number. Let's say you want to jump back 50 frames. If you do a minus, then it actually goes beyond the zero. It goes into the negative area. So you cannot do that. So you have to put a plus and the number that you want to jump to. Okay, that goes in the reverse. Okay, so that's one thing that you can jump to time, especially when you have a sluggish timeline. The next thing I want to talk about is actually the work area. Okay, if you want to, let's say you're working on a comp and you only want to render only a certain part of the comp, right? So you can trim the comp down. So looking at your CTI or the current time indicator, there's a great keyboard shortcut that you should remember, yeah. And I made a note here. By the way, these are topics that we're going to cover today. Yeah, navigating timeline, adjusting the timeline, working with keyframes, switches revealed, controlling layers, working with layer modes, and using composition layers as markers. Sorry, I didn't share that earlier. So if you want to remember a keyboard shortcut, I'll show you a very important keyboard shortcut to remember. Let me just make some note here. Okay, I want you to remember this four-letter word, I-B-O-N. Yeah, IBON. Okay, it's going to be very handy in a bit once we start using it. Okay, I stands for in, B stands for begin, O stands for out, N for end. Yeah, so let's try that. So I'm going to jump into my master comp. So if I am, let's say if I want to start rendering from this frame here, when the CTI is over there, I press B for begin. Yeah, so you notice now it trims your work area to that area. Okay, and then when you go to, let's say you want to finish somewhere around here, you press N for end. Yeah, end is November, the letter N. So now when you render this comp, is only going to render this area here, this bar here. By the way, you can move it. Yeah, you can trim it. You can just move it by hand if you want to. But I find the keyboard shortcut really helps. If you are here, you press B for begin, and then somewhere around here, you press N, yeah, and IBON. Okay, and this will only render this part here. It will not render the other parts of the timeline. If you want to find out, you can go to something like comp. You go down to add to render queue. You will see that, let me just bring this out, put it up here. All right, so render queue gives you the settings, and you can see um, render settings. You can see that you will have uh, using work area only. That's where it is, yeah. Okay, work area only, that means only that part. If you want to render the whole length of the comp, then it has to be that one. But by default, it renders only the work area. Okay, so you are safe. So now you know that it will only render that area where the bar is. Okay. All right, Azaha from USJ, thanks for coming. Thanks for joining in. Just recently tried After Effects this week. Been using Premiere Pro before. Oh, cool. Well, if you're doing video editing, Azaha, is it Azaha? MDFZ24. Okay. If you're using Premiere Pro, if you are doing video editing, it's fine to keep to Premiere Pro, yeah. But if you're interested to do some motion graphics stuff, visual effects stuff, then After Effects is the best bet. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. So that's how you control your work area. And the next thing I want to talk about is I'm going to skip all this basic stuff. Yeah, I know some of you you already been using After Effects, perhaps. Well, okay. So let's say you have lots and lots of layers. Yeah. Okay. There's not much layers here, but if I go to my pre-com, you can see I've got some much of layers here. It's basically video layers. All right. And sometimes finding stuff in layers is a bit difficult. Yeah. You're very hard to find stuff in layers. So we have this search bar here, but people, I mean, it's there, but hardly anyone use it. So we can find stuff over here. Let's say you want to find anything that has a position keyframe. Yeah, you can find anything that has a position. Just type position, just that pose. You can see that you have all the layers with all the position keyframes enabled. Okay, it's quite cool because you can quickly come and change the positions of every layer and all that stuff. I'm going to cover about the transformation tool in a bit later on, but now you can see, you can find even sometimes when you have missing um, fonts or missing effects, you can look in through this little finder here. It's very powerful. Yeah, it really makes you do things faster instead of just looking through all the layers, and sometimes it wastes a lot of time. Okay. The find in timeline. Then you also come back to the switches that we have here. All right. Obviously, you know that if you know Photoshop, you know that we have the eyeballs. Yeah, you can switch off and on just by clicking and dragging. You don't have to click one by one like that. Yeah, you just click and drag. Okay, click and drag, and they will come on and off. Okay. And then you have that speaker icon. We'll talk about the speaker icon a little later when we have a video that has the audio, right, on and off. And we have the solo icon, right? For the solo icon, is basically kind of interesting because when you have lots and lots of layers, okay, um, you might want to just look at one or two layers. So you can use a solo icon. Let's say I just want to solo this particular video, which is over this side here. I can just click on it and it becomes solo. Yeah, that's only icon that I can see. The rest of it has been shall I say disabled. You can notice here that's all disabled, right? Solo. It's good for you to look at stuff and perhaps you want to work faster. Let's say your PC cannot catch up and your laptop is a bit slow. It's best to work with the solo the layer, right? And work with it first while it's not computing the other layers. Okay, that's the best way to make things go faster sometimes. Okay, solo the layers. Or you can use as I mentioned earlier, you can use your work area to trim it down to just that area. Okay, so you get the computer to work faster in just that area alone. And by the way, that green bar there is actually your RAM. Yeah, it's using your RAM as a cache to preview. And unfortunately, After Effects is not like Premiere Pro. In Premiere Pro, you have what I call a Mercury technology where things go fast. The video can be rendered very fast. In After Effects, because of we throw in like things like Gaussian blur and all the effects, it's very hard for you to cache. So if you're buying, if you're really going to go into After Effects, I suggest that you buy a machine that has a lot of RAM. Yeah, if you can go 32 gigabyte, 64 gigabyte, go for it if you're going to spend a long time, because it really helps makes things faster. This laptop that I have here is a MacBook Pro, and I believe I have 32 gig of RAM if I'm mistaken. Let me have a look. It should be in the media desk cache. So the more RAM you have, the faster your machine is. Yeah, and obviously SSD helps as well. So this one, I would guess I have, yep, 32 gigabyte of memory. Yeah, I purposely upgrade to 32 gigabyte because I know I'm going to do a lot of video editing and a lot of using a lot of After Effects. So you have to get something which is kind of um, beastie machine as well. Yeah. Otherwise, you can probably ask some of the guys that are watching this now, some who has experience in doing After Effects design, to find that comes up, it becomes very slow after a while. Yeah. Um, Good graphics card helps as well. Yeah, good graphics card, and RAM really helps. Yeah, you have to get a good RAM to use After Effects. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Um, rearranging columns. All this part down here, you can rearrange them. Okay, I'm going to zoom down here. You can see that I can just click and drag. Yeah, click and drag these guys. I can drop them wherever I want it. Yeah, so it doesn't have to be exactly how it is. And then if you want to show and hide certain things, you can right click on the bar and say I want to hide the parent link, which maybe you're not going to use it. I can right click here and say columns. I want to enable any of the columns down here, switches, modes, and whatnot. Okay, I can have my mode column here now. These are basically your blending modes. Okay, so you can drag and drop. There are a couple of more which is hidden here, but you can enable and disable. Okay, we'll come back to the switches a little later. But even down here, sometimes people do not know that we have what we call a toggle switches and mode. Yes, it's hidden right at the bottom, but this one can enable the 3D 3D switches and stuff like that. Yeah, down here, this is quite important. But if you have a longer or larger screen, maybe you can enable everything, up to you. Okay, columns, maybe you can enable the, I don't know, why would you want to have a comment section? Maybe somebody wants to leave a note for you, but you can do like maybe what is important, parent and link, which is quite important. Yeah, it's parenting of the layers. Okay, that's doing using shy layers. Sometimes when you have a comp which has a lot of layers, okay, and you are not working with a lot of the layers, you might want to put them to shy. Okay, I'll just unsolo this. Okay, so what I can do is, let's say if I go back to my master comp, and let's say I do not want to use, I don't want to see my pre-com anymore, because I don't want people to, or I maybe sometime accidentally do something to it. So I can do a shy layer by clicking on this Kilroy icon. Yeah, click on it, and I will just have to click on the master shy icon up here. Okay, to hide the icon or to hide the layer. So it's not visible. It will render, but it's just not visible because we don't want to disturb it anymore. Locking layer would be nice, but if you have a lot of layers, probably this helps in making things go, looking at less layers, so you can concentrate on the stuff that you want to do. Okay, so you can shy and unshy layers as well. So if you want to unshy the layer, you can click back on this guy here, and then you can unshy the layer there. All right, simple as that. So I find that a lot of people are not using this function, which is really helpful when you have a large project. So now, since you know, you might want to use it. Okay. I've done soloing layers, labels. Yeah, I should sometimes see that my students do not use the labels. Okay, labels are kind of interesting. I'll jump into my pre-com. You can see that my layers have colors in them. Yeah, it's just not to make it beautiful, but also there's a function behind it. If you notice, if I go down to the preferences in After Effects, if I go down to labels, then you can see that it shows you all the colors. Okay, as I said again, it's not just to beautify your comp, but it has a function to it. So if you notice that any composition will have a sandstone color, you can also change it if you want to. Video will have an aqua color, so on and so forth. Yeah, maybe text has a red color. and then I can change. Instead of having the word red, I can say maybe this one to be reviewed. Yeah, reviewed. Okay, so instead of that, so just say to be reviewed. So anything that has red now, you can see is to be reviewed. So if I'm a producer or if I'm the creative director, I can come and look at it and say, okay, this one is all to be reviewed. So if I press OK there and go back here, okay, so I can now look at all the stuff that I want to be reviewed. So if I click on that little color swatch there, yeah, I can say I only want to see to be reviewed. All right. So at the moment, I'll say select label group. Right. That means this will be selected. Okay, is that layer space? Okay, let me just show you it again. Yeah, so this is not selected. Click on it, select label group. So only the let me just call this to be reviewed, and then this one is to be reviewed. Yeah. All right. So I want to select only the to be reviewed. I'll click on the color and I say to be reviewed, and all of them will be selected. They should be selected. Select label group. There you go. Right. So they all selected for you, and then what you can do now is you can solo them. All right, and you can now work on them on their own. Yeah, it means in your comp here you will see only the solo layers, the rest are all missing. There you go. Yeah, so you can unsolo them as well. All right, so that's a kind of a cool way for you to also be more productive in labeling and coloring your layers. Okay, only the layers that you want to work with, you do the labels of the color. Okay, kind of interesting. Not many people are using this feature. Okay, these are all some features that are there, but people are not using it. Okay. All right, let's talk about the shortcuts of the animation, right? So I've got a master comp here, and I've got some. Let me just open that up. I've got some animation inside all these layers. Okay, and some of you might know that the animation that we have inside every layer. If I open up my one of these layers here, let's say if I open up this one, if you open up effects, sorry, transform, you will see that you have the 5 main transformation tools, yeah, in After Effects: your anchor point, position, scale, rotation, and opacity. And I do strongly encourage you to learn the keyboard shortcut for this one. Just imagine if you're doing editing or doing keyframing, you will probably want to, I mean, the beginners will probably do this, yeah, the newbies. They'll open up transform, they'll click on position, and then they will do some position keyframe and whatnot. Okay, and then they will close it later on, then they will go to another layer and they will do the same thing on this one. Probably the one they want to change the scales of it, they will click maybe a keyframe there, and then they will go back to the earlier layer, they will open up transform again. So it's going to take a long time for you to do that. Yeah, so what I recommend for you to do is learn the keyboard shortcuts for the transformation tools. I'll show you an example. Let's say if I go back to my pre-comp and let's unselect that. So let's say I have the returning home, the first layer, and I'll open up. I say I want to change the position, yeah? Position, remember this. Maybe I make a note here. Okay. The next thing I want you to remember is TRAPS or STRAP. Okay, remember this word, either traps or strap. Okay. So let's go to master. And let's say I want to edit this text over here. I've got a bit of text here. Yeah. So P for position. Right, position opens up. If you press P again, it closes. Yeah, P open, P close. And if I want to enter the rotation, I press shift and I press R. So that's your rotation. Okay, and then you can click keyframes for both, just like that. Okay, that's much easier compared to doing manual with your mouse. It takes a long time. Okay, so remember that TRAPS. So T for transparency, or sorry, 3 for opacity. Okay, they call it in opacity. R for rotation, A for anchor point, P for position, S is for scale. Yeah, or you can say spread as well. It's up to you how you want to do it. Okay, so remember those. These are very, very crucial keyboard shortcuts that you need to know to make things go faster for you. All right. Any question, anybody so far? Everybody still around? Okay. So if you have any questions, please drop it into the comment section. Okay. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the Uber key. Yeah. So let's say you're working on some projects and you want to look at all the keyframes. Let's say somebody passes the project to you and you're not sure of which keyframes, where they are, and how do you want to move them around. There's a very nifty keyboard shortcut that you should know. It's called the Uber key. It starts with the letter U. So if I were to select everything in my layers here, Command A to select, yeah, and if I press U on my keyboard, I will look at all the layers which have the keyframes. Okay, so once I press U, I can see only the Adobe, the PNG layer, and then going home layer has the keyframes. Okay, if I press U again, it's going to close. Okay, but what if I press UU? Two U's, yeah, UU, and here you will reveal. I'll just open up the layer panel by clicking on my tilde key. Maximize that. You can see now only all the keyframes that I have changed the properties will pop up. Okay, when you create a keyframe and you did not change the property, you will reveal it in U. But if you have made a keyframe and change a property, you will have to access using UU. Right? You will notice here we have done an offset here for the text that we can see. It has an evaporated animator for the keyframe, and we have down here for opacity as well. Okay, so if you press UU again, it will collapse. Yeah, U again will collapse, and then I'll use my tilde key. Again, very good keyboard shortcut to know about how to open up your window to maximize the window, and we go back to normal. Okay, the other one I want to show you is also I think not many people know about this. Let's say if I maximize this layer and I select everything with Command or Command A or Control A, yeah, all the layers. And if I were to open up using the U key again, unfortunately this one doesn't have any keyframes. But if I were to open up something like that, maybe I will open up that, I open up that, I open up that. Yeah, sometimes you are doing stuff and then you open up a lot of layers, and this can really take up the whole screen. Yeah. Okay. And how do you collapse back? How do you close it back? Does anybody know? Does anybody have an answer? Ken checkers. Strap is a good way to remember. Very good. Thanks. Maybe you can tell me, how do I collapse these layers here? What do you think I should use? Maybe I can use Command A. Yeah. And then I close one and all will close again. Yeah. That's the faster way. So you do not have to like go back and close one by one. Yeah. There's another keyboard shortcut that I want to teach you, that if you are opening up your everything's open up like that. If you press Command A and you press Shift and you press the tilde key, yeah, Shift and tilde. I'm just clicking that key now. The tilde key is actually under your Escape key. Okay, Shift and tilde, or some call it the accent graph key. Okay, the one that looks like a worm. There you go. Right. Open up, close it again. Okay, that's much faster to open up and close your layers. These are all productive tools. Yeah, things are supposed to be faster in After Effects. This is the stuff that I want to share with you guys when talk about timeline. Let me just close that again, and we are back here. Okay, scan still there? Okay, no worries. We will continue. Yeah. We have spoke about the tilde key. We have spoken about the UU key or the Uber key. What about audio? This little comp that I put together has an audio in it. Let me just play a bit and then you will see what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I'll go back to the master. The master has audio. Okay, so let's just do a space bar to play. Okay, so you can see that there's audio in this comp. Yeah, and where are the audio? You can see that we have speaker icons at the bottom left of the comp. All right. And sometimes when you open it up, you're not sure, how do I edit this audio? How do I see the audio, right? And you got to open up, and then you got to open up, and oh, then finally you found the waveform, okay? And you don't even see the waveform. Where is my waveform, right? You open up again. Where is my audio? Where is my stuff? Open up that again. Oh, now you can see the waveform, right? So instead of hunting for stuff like that, which is a waste of time, I want to show you another keyboard shortcut which you should remember or must to know is the L keyboard, yeah, the L. So I press L once, I will see the audio levels, which I can change the audio levels. But if I press LL twice, I will see the audio wave. Yeah, even for this one, LL, now I can see the audio wave. Now you can adjust your timing of your cuts of the video or any motion graphics according to the wave. Okay, so a lot of people do not know that this exists inside of After Effects, that you can view the audio wave. Yeah, to remember the keyboard shortcut L or double L, LL to see the audio wave. Yeah. Okay, and then you can probably click on the audio icon here to mute the audio if you don't want to hear the audio when you're doing your editing. Okay, yes, Ken, select all and press U, right? That's for you to, there's a Uber key that will reveal all the uh, layers with the keyframe, yeah? Okay, so we have do you know how to now to reveal your audio? And what about effects? Maybe you want to put an effects on some of the layers. So I've got a nice comp going on here, okay? But I want to give it a nice color correction, kind of nice look, yeah? I put a vignette here. If you notice, I've got some vignette here, okay? And let's look at how did I put the vignette. So to reveal an effects in After Effects, instead of going and opening up again, twirling the whole thing down and look at CC vignette and all that, it's a waste of time. Another, unproductive way of doing things. You press the letter E for echo, yeah? That will show that you have the vignette, the CC vignette on this little layer here. Okay, that's a CC vignette. And if I press double EE, it will show me the expressions. I don't have any expressions in this comp at the moment, but if you do play with expressions, EE is to reveal the expression. E alone will reveal the effects for it. Okay, I've got a vignette installed, attached to this one. Yeah, the amount of vignette I can add. I can even change the angle of view, 45 degrees or whatnot. Yeah, so the keyboard shortcut for that is E. Yeah, E for effects. All right. And I've got another layer which I created and I renamed to CC for color correction. It's just an adjustment layer. Okay. So if I right click on my area of timeline here, if I say new, you can see that you can create a bunch of layers. Okay. One of them is called adjustment layer. Okay, so adjustment layer just exactly what we have in Photoshop, where you can create a layer which affects the layer at the bottom. Okay, we have that in Photoshop as well. So I'm not going to use this. I'm going to press Control Z. I'm going to use this layer here. It's a CC. I just renamed it to color correct. You want to see the actual name of it? If you click on the word layer here, you can see it's an adjustment layer. Okay. Okay, so for this one, I want to put it a curve. I want to make it a bit more nicer, warmer looking. I guess this is somewhere in Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. So usually Mexico is tied up with a place being a nice and hot country. So we want to make it a bit of nice warm color for this. So if I click on my CC, and I'm gonna go and grab my. Let me see if I am still on the screen. I am on the screen. Just have to reset this guy to, yeah, okay. Okay, so let's go and grab curves, yeah, CURVES, curves. I'm going to drag it and drop it onto here. Nope, not right. Have to drop onto the CC layer, yeah, make sure we do that. There you go. Right, so we have let's press E to see. Yeah, no, let's Lumetri color. He's gone to the wrong layer. So I'm going to Control or Command X from there, Command V in here. All right, we'll play with the Lumetri color in a bit. So I've got my nice curve here. So I'm going to create a couple of nice curve here. Let me just open that up. You can see now I got some nice, what do you call that? A bit of a nice contrast going there. Okay, what if I want to make it warmer, right? So if I go and adjust my red channel, I'm going to increase the red a bit. Okay, so you can see it's warmer, a bit cooler, a bit warmer. Okay, so I'm going to go and hit the highlights and a bit of the not so much on the shadows, but more on the highlights. Yeah, I want the highlights to pick up that red color. You can see over here in this part over here. So you can see before and after. Yeah, it gets a bit of that red color as well. Yeah, that's nice. So if you want to become a good color corrector in After Effects, this is my guru taught me, yeah, long time ago. You only need to understand three effects. Is your curves, your levels, and your hue and saturation. If you can master these three, you would not need any plugins anymore. Okay, the plugins are just doing the same thing basically. Plugins makes things go faster. I understand that, but if you really want to go into it and you want to know the technical stuff of it, you might as well just play with this little three little effects. Yeah. Let's try something else. I'm going to disable that, and I'm going to open up my Lumetri color, which is new in the new version of After Effects. And I've got this nice little creative area here, right? You can choose all the presets that you have. Yeah, so I'm going to choose something which is I wish they had the scroll that you can see your screen, the effects area on the screen, but they don't have that. You got to click one by one. Let's go something down here to maybe something like Gold Rush. Got something like that. That's not what I was looking for. I want to go down and look for something like Gold Orange. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, then you have the Lumetri color in your system that you can play with. You can use all this color stuff there. Yeah, you can play with that. You have vignette as well. You can adjust the amount of vignette right inside there. Yeah, if you want to. And I didn't like that one. Let me see. There's something else that I usually use. Yeah, I think it's a gold orange. Maybe I can bring the intensity up a bit. Yeah, okay, something like that. So what you can see here is that the adjustment layer is affecting everything at the bottom. Yeah, so that's a very good way to do some color correction, and you don't want to go to every layer. Yeah, this is a waste of time and stuff. So just put one layer on top and it affects everything at the bottom. If you're not happy with that, just switch it off with the eyeball and bring in another layer and try that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So how are we doing for time? Wow, we started a bit late just now. Yeah. Let's do navigating. Okay. All right. So the other one that people are not really sure of is how you navigate between keyframes inside of After Effects. Yeah. So let me just open up this and look at my U keyboard. Yeah, U. I've got this keyframes which is been done here. So if you want to jump from one keyframe to another keyframe, I don't think that you should slide, because every time when your comms become heavy, it will be sluggish. Yeah, believe me. So the best way is to use keyboard shortcut with the J and K keyboard shortcut. J takes you back, the K brings it forward. Yeah, J and K keyboard shortcut, very fast. It just jumps to that keyboard shortcut. Yeah, I mean the keyframe. I mean, yeah, it's very fast. I'm hitting my J and a K key on my keyboard. Okay, much faster comparing for you to drag. Sometimes when you think you are accurate in clicking there like that, it doesn't. Yeah. One thing about After Effects, when you are trying to change certain properties of the where you created a keyframe, you have to be precise. Even if it's one frame off, you will start to create a different keyframe, which is not good. Right? You can have a lot of issues after that. So J and K key for you to go forward and back. Remember that. All right? So jumping for keyframe. Remember the word J, jumping for keyframes. Yeah. Let's have a look. Okay. We've done adjustment layers. Okay. The other one that I want you to know is how you want to be productive in the layers, the timeline. Is how do you go to the beginning and the end of the comp, right? Remember just now I mentioned to you the keyboard shortcut called 𝐼𝙏, right? B was the beginning of the comp, N is the end of the comp where you trim it to that area, but I and N takes you the in of the comp and the out of the comp. I and O, I mean, yeah. So if I go, let's say for this layer here, for this comp here, if I means I'm the in of the comp, O means I go to the out of the COM, in this case the layer. Okay, so if I have nothing selected, it does not work. Yeah, it has to work on the layer itself. So I and out of the layer. Okay, for this one, if I select the layer, the I and the out of that layer. Okay, so you can quickly jump to the beginning and the end of the layer, which is quite productive as well. Very good. Yeah, in and out of the layer. Okay, so now we know I-bound, we know the begin, where to start to the beginning of the COM. You can put a begin there, and you can put an end there, and you can go to this layer. You can go to the out of the layer by clicking on O. If you want to go to the in of this layer, you click I. Okay, if I would double click on this gray area here, it will just open up to the comp settings. Yeah, maximize to the comp settings. Okay. Right. Okay. The other one that you should know is obviously when you have a keyboard with a keypad, and if you notice the layers all have numbers. Okay, you can select the layers by the numbers as well. That's the reason why they have numbers there. If you have a keyboard which has numpad, you click on number 1, you click layer number 1. If you click on number 5, you will be selecting layer number 5. Okay, I can't use that because I have a laptop on my I'm using a laptop, so my numbers key actually work with something else, so they don't work that way. But if you have a keyboard, the longer keyboard with the numpad on the right, then you can use that to jump around in the layers as well. Okay, all right. So the other thing that I want to cover is also talking about um, moving of the layers. Yeah, let's say we want to move the layers somewhere. Okay, that all depends on where your CTI is. Let's just say that I want to move my text layer, which is this text layer here. All right, I want to move it somewhere here. So let's say if I want to start the layer here. Okay, instead of starting at the beginning, I want to start this layer at this point here. Okay, so what I can do is I have a keyboard shortcut, which is actually the square brackets or the curly brackets. Okay, if I press a left bracket, that layer will jump to the beginning of that uh, CTI or current time indicator. If I use the right bracket, it will jump to the end. Okay, so that's how you move to the end and the beginning of the layer. Okay, but what if you have a longer layer and you want to trim it? Yeah, you want to trim the layer. So let's say you want to trim this part of the layer here. You press the Alt key or the Option key and click on the bracket, the same bracket as well, yeah, to trim it. And if you want to go to the right, you want to trim it somewhere here. Instead of dragging it from the square like that, sometimes it's not accurate. You just cut it or trim it using the Option key and right bracket. Okay, so you're trimming it down. All right. Also, some good keyboard shortcut to remember. All right. That's the curly brackets or the bracket key, which is on your keyboard. Okay. Trimming it out of points, we have done that. Splitting of layers. For some reason, if you want to split some layers up, you can remember where CTI is. Okay, you can go up to layers, and then I think it's under edit, and you can split the layers here. Layer, splitting of layers. Is it under layer? Maybe under edit. There you go, split layer. Yeah, Shift Control or Shift Command D. Okay, so this layer is selected. I want to just split the layer up. Hold down Shift, Control, or Command D to split the layer. All right, so you have now 2 layers where it's supposed to be. Okay. Also a good way for you to maybe apply different effects to different layers. Naming layers, sometimes people get a bit caught up about how to name layers. Okay, you can either right click and say rename, or you can simply press the enter key and you can type in. Yeah, that's how you rename layers. In Photoshop, you have to double click on the layer, right? Here it doesn't work. You double click, it doesn't work. It takes you somewhere else. Yeah, common mistake. Locking layers is 2 basic stuff. I'm not going to cover that. This is the last one that I'm going to cover today is markers. Yeah, and how markers will help you to jump your keyframe from one area to another area. Okay, So let's say you want to start at the beginning of the comp, and you always want to come to the beginning of the comp, and you do not want to press the home key or page down and page up key. You want to leave what we call a comp marker. So you press the shift key down, you press number 1. Okay, that's the first. You will see a marker here say number 1. Okay, remember the number 1 there. So I'm going to go down to the middle, and I'm going to say maybe I want to be middle part of it and shift number 2. Okay, and maybe at the end, because I always like to go back to the end, I put that shift number 3. Oops, there's one more frame back. Oh, I've got that thing that's happening there. That's fine. Shift 3. Okay, so now it's as easy as using my numbers on my keyboard. I just go back to 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, 3. 1, 2, and 3. That's very fast. Yeah, so you should leave markers wherever you want to jump to, and maybe you want to check out that particular area. You want to do some edits to it, you can do that. Yeah, this is much faster. You can use all your numbers 1 to 10 or 1 to 0 in this case, but you can also manually bring in more. So if I'm going to move this marker somewhere around here, number 3 marker, and let's say if I run out of markers, I can just click and drag this guy here. Okay, so it becomes number 4, become number 5, and so on and so forth. Okay, I can jump now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so there's a certain chapters in the comp that you want to always check. You can use the markers. You can always delete them. You can say right click. I say delete all markers. Yeah, and they are gone. You can also do let's say you want to leave a note for someone. Let's say some parts of it you're not happy with how the comp is. You leave a marker, and then you double click on the marker. Right, double click on the marker, and you can leave a note. Okay, say edit this. Okay, and you can see when you press OK, you get that mark there. Yeah, but this one you will lose the benefit of using the numbers on your keyboard. Okay, you will not be able to jump to that thing anymore. Okay, so but I can also always leave an information there. I did the same thing for this one here. Okay, my name is here. Okay, I can even put something there, and I can even recolor them nicely. Okay. All right, so that's about all I'd like to cover today. I mean, there's a couple of more things that I wanted to talk about, but unfortunately we run out of time. I don't want to take this to a longer what do you call it, session. Maybe next time I'll cover something else. But if you guys do want to learn something else, do give us some suggestions. Okay, let me know what is the subject that you want to learn. We'll be online whole week of next week, almost every week. Even tomorrow we will have something planned for you guys. The reason why we are being online here is to to try and see whether we can do our part to help the community during this period of time. So if you do have any suggestions, do let us know. You can either put it in the comment section there, or you can just send us an email, or even our Facebook or Instagram. Say I want to learn about Adobe Dimension perhaps. Thank you, Ken. Thanks for watching. Yeah, and if you miss anything in this video, we'll be available on YouTube. And do subscribe to us, and do leave comments. So something that we can improve upon, or something that you want to learn in the future. Okay. Thanks to my team, Hakim, who is looking at the chat room. And we will hope to see you soon. Do check out our Facebook to see what we are up to tomorrow. I'm becoming online again to talk about something else. Yeah. So, but do check out on our Facebook and what the subject is. All right. So thank you very much, guys, and you have a good night. Yeah. Thank you very much. Bye.